Hi, it's Renee. I just thought I'd pull out a little bit more junk mail and create some pockets and things for my Midori style traveler's notebook. This is the one I'm currently working on that I have made with some digital downloads from Artie Mays, and I'll be using some of her stuff with my while I'm putting this together. What I've done is I've made my base for this, and I sewed on some lace here for a pocket on the outside, so when it's folded over there will be a pocket here to hold things, my phone, whatever. And then here's the inside. It's got foam on the inside, and I will put in my holes for my traveler's notebook, my Midori style traveler's notebook with the inserts and such. So let's go ahead and get started making some stuff out of junk. So I'm going to set that aside for now. Put my glue in my fancy glue holder. I always put my glue upside down in this little old tea container. That way I don't have to wait for it to come down to the end. So all I'm going to do basically is take this piece of junk mail that I got and cover it with paper, put some pockets in it. It's already got tabs, so I'm just going to put some paper down and go from there. So I think I'm going to put, I guess I should put the paper. Just going to glue some paper down. And here's Tigger. She wants to see what we're doing. Gonna have to move her. Good job, baby. I'm just gonna glue this down and cut around it later. Let's see if I can fit it all the way. That's not gonna work. And actually, I'm gonna need to cut it down. So let's just start by gluing this corner. Put as much paper on here as I can. Make sure it covers the tab very well. Some people will iron their paper. I kind of like the crinkly look in my journals, so I'm going to leave this one crinkly because this is for my own journal. And I'm just going to add a little bit more glue here on the edges. Make sure it's all, make sure I'll cut it first and then I'll add the glue on those. So let's flip it over. As you know, I'm trying to use my junk mail. We get so much of it on a daily basis that it's kind of sad to throw away this paper. I think between trying to recycle books and recycle junk mail, I don't know if I'm going in a positive direction or if there's just too much junk mail and too many books being thrown out. I'm not really sure. I've certainly come across a lot of places that are just throwing out, libraries, also, I don't think they're keeping all the books. People are taking books to the library, and I know the libraries will sell them to raise funds, but I don't think people are going to buy free books that much anymore. I'm sure there's some left over, but I don't know. I just think it's a huge waste, but I don't think there's room either. I certainly don't have room for every book that I want in my home. I'll do the same thing to the back side, because I'm probably going to put this in the notebook. Let me just check something really quick. It's going to be really close. I'm probably going to put this in the notebook as a flip on both sides. So I'm probably going to have to trim a little bit off the top, but all sides are going to be seen. I'm not going to be gluing one side down or anything. So make sure I have it in the right direction. I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm on the back side. I'm going to be putting something on top of it anyway. There's tons I've shown you in past emails or past videos where there's colorful paper that we're getting in the mail. Whoops. Gotta clean that one up. That's gonna be a mistake. That's gonna be a sticky mess, I should say. Okay. I'll be covering that up as well, but I wasn't gonna do it right now, so let me just make sure I have this covered. This is another way these come in really handy to smooth everything out, because your hands aren't straight and smooth, but this helps. Okay. So I'm going to open that up and trim that off as well. I could wait till it dries, but I can just wash my scissors off. Let's see. Failed to use it. That's funny. I got these papers out of these book pages from a herbal healing book, and they had some cool images as far as herbs and little drawings throughout the book, so I'm gonna start using this book up. The paper has been coffee dyed, so it looks more vintage. But I'll just clip those off with my little corner clippers when I get done here, so I don't have to take as much time cutting. And I'll save these scraps too, these larger scraps, because I like the way that when I dyed using this one, this darker one, is actually tea dyed paper. This is coffee dyed paper. And this tea was some tea that I absolutely hated because it was so bitter, and this kind of shows it probably was bitter. But I like the differences in the colors here for added interest in my pages, so I'm going to use those again. Okay, so I'm going to go over this. Trim a little bit of that off. And then my last page. This one's going to be a little trickier. If I would have thought about it, I should have put that right there, but it's going to be covered up. Some of it's going to be covered up, so like I'll probably cover up the words cancer and, you know, anything negative. It's about herbal medicine, so it's just kind of stuff that's being said that's not exactly happy, but okay. And this last little bit. Okay, so now you can see I have covered up, I'll trim this off a little bit better, but I have covered up my piece of junk mail, and now I can use this as a folder in my notebook. And we will get to decorating that in just a second. Alright, I wanted to grab some music paper because I thought that would be a good thing to make pockets with. And my medical tape. I have shown how to make washi tape out of this medical tape, but I think I'm going to put it in here just to add some backing and support for that little fold that's there. So I'm just going to stick that in there. The majority of it's going to be covered up, so it won't look so bad. I should just turn this the right way. Alright. That way over time it's not going to just tear into a million pieces and fall apart. So I'm just going to put that there. Some people use drywall tape here, like if they're doing reinforcing the book binding. There's a couple different things you can use. Tyvek, I guess, is one, but I checked that out and that seemed a little pricey, if it's the same Tyvek I'm thinking of that they use for insulation and things like that in houses. Alright, so I'm putting that on this side, and what I'm going to do, this piece of paper happens to fit perfectly, so I'm not going to do any cutting. I'm just going to fold here to create pockets, and I'm lining up the bottom of this because I'm going to fold up to make a double pocket in here. So this will be folded up, and then I will go to where the edge of the corner is there, and I'm going to make a little clip there and a clip there, and I'm going to put it in my cutter to cut. Alright, so then how that's going to look is this is going to be folded up as an extra space to put something in down here. So I'm going to go sew this around the edges first, right around here, around this edge. Put a little line there, and then I'm going to attach the whole thing to this little folder. I will be right back. Alright, so I took my folded corners, I sewed all along the edges first, and then after I did that and made my little pockets here and here, I went ahead and attached it at the top here, and then at the bottom by sewing more. So I've got this extra, I did this bottom part last, and then that created a little pattern down here on the bottom. I used the green thread because this book is green and it's got plants in it. Sometimes I'll put green around the edges here instead of brown if I'm doing a plant kind of book. I did a gardening journal, and I used green around my edges instead of the vintage photo, but this is what I use for the edges to make it look aged. Okay, so I've put together some things. I've got my jar of flowers here. I haven't pulled any flowers out yet, so I'm gonna pull out a couple of flowers for, I don't know what I'm thinking here. And I'm gonna do a quick layout of what I want to do. So I think I did some pre-cutting, so you didn't have to watch all of that, but I pulled, again, some Artie Mae's cards that she had available, and I think what I'm going to do, I rounded the corners. I think how I'm going to lay this out is I'm going to put this here as in the outside pocket, so it's going to have those, and then I'm going to put these in the inside pockets. So it's kind of laid out like that. I'm going to sew these little tabs onto these cards here. I always try to lay it out first because I will sit here and I will do this a bunch of times, and this way I can at least, this piece of fabric is actually from, this was supposed to be a scarf. It was like in a bag of free stuff at a garage sale, and it's supposed to be a scarf. Well, that's obviously not going to keep you very warm. And I love this because I actually used this texture when I created some of my own digital images. So I'm using it in this book too because I'm going to carry through the images or the paper in different parts of the book. But here's what the paper looks like. And you can see where I put down the scarf. So I'm going to kind of carry that throughout my book. So I'm kind of working with that. I also created some additional tags to put in the book later from the same pattern, but this is something I did from an art journal, and I I'm going to use this. So I wanted to put it on here as well. So I'm going to have that. I'm going to glue this down. I am going to put probably a little thingy here, a little cutout here, and maybe, let's say, a flower there and there. Oh, and then a little stem underneath the flower, I think, is what I'm gonna do. These are just scraps from this, basically. It had the little wire in it, so I pulled the wire out. I could have left it in, but I don't know. Then it would have been bendable, but I can glue it down just as easy. So I think that's how I'm gonna lay it out, something like that. The only thing I'm going to have to do sewing wise is sew these down. So I think I'm good. I think I could pull these out, and I can pull these out and start with gluing this stuff on here. I think I will also, I was thinking I would cut this in half, but I think I'm just going to leave it how it is. I don't know. I'm new at this, so I'm thinking we'll try it this way and see what happens. But I'm going to put a healthy amount of glue on here so that will, in fact, hold that fabric down. I'm going to put the finished edge on the bottom of the little folder here. Okay, squish this over a little bit, glue that down, and then put some glue on both of these. You won't hear me talking because I put the glue thing in my mouth. That wasn't very smart. Okay. Intermission. Ah! Boy. Alright. So I think I'll put that right about there. And then I've got this one, little postage stamp. Put that over here. And usually I set a book on this so it will dry flat. So I think I'm going to do that. Let this dry up a bit. I will go ahead and sew the tabs onto these little cards, and I think I'm going to stamp up in here too. So I'm going to go get that stuff and I will be back, and this will be dry hopefully.